Howdy, I'm Matt, and I'd love to show you the model which I think I've got the last one of in the world, which is a little bit unfortunate for you, unfortunately, but for me, I'm over the moon. But I need to clean this desk up, so by the magic of video editing, I'll be back to you in a second. Balls, that's enough tidying up, we'll make room. Some room at least. Right, so in this box is a model called the Flying Blade. Now, I have owned two of these before. Where is my current one? And by the magic of Blue Peter, this is a Flying Blade. But it's not the Flying Blade which set up in the way which I want it to be set up. So let's wind back in time. Previously, I owned one of these. I bought it randomly off Banggood. And put it together, and I put a little 2805 motor on the back, 2305 motor on the back, ran it on 4S, and it was absolutely insane. And I genuinely mean it, it poured at least a ton across the flight line and literally ripped the sky a new one. And it's always been in the back of my mind as one of the best models I have ever owned. To the point, my other one, which I had as a powered setup, is that I did cut it in half to go into a box to be sent to a certain person for them to go and make us all copies of it. So there's some irony here to make copies of a Chinese wing. And the reason for that is that you could not get these for love nor money. And then one thing and another, they decided not to continue with their business, and I never saw the wing back, which was a very unfortunate set of circumstances, I'm sure, for both parties involved. So I lost my powered wing. Now, the model which we're looking at here is my slope soaring version, and this is absolutely bonkers on the flight line. And it is by far my favourite slope soaring model, and you'll see I've just got it set up with a tiny little 2S battery now, got a Beck and a receiver, and it's absolutely schizo. It will fly in very light, I won't say extremely light conditions, but it will fly in light conditions. And to be honest, it loves medium to heavy wind conditions, and it's absolutely bonkers. It doesn't like inverted that much, so it's not the most, shall we say, well-balanced model overall, but my personal experience with the Blade has been absolutely fantastic, and I do feel that it's one of the best models I have ever owned. So that brings me on to why I've got one here on the desk, and perhaps why I'm so excited, because I previously tried buying this model twice. You can't get this on Banggood, you can't get it, I tried buying it off Taobao, and that failed badly, never saw the model, and I also tried buying it off another Chinese site and didn't get it in there, and this has been over the last 2 years or so, because I'm desperately trying to get hold of one. And then literally 4 days ago, I thought I'll see if I can find one again. Found it on a website called Porcupine RC, and unfortunately I did try buying two. This was the last one which they had, and I thought, right, look, I'm just going to pay through PayPal. We'll give it a month or 2 months, and if it doesn't turn up, it's not the end of the world. I'm not going to cry. I'll just get my money back. It is whatever. Unbelievably, 4 or 5 days later, it's been and turned up here on my desktop, and hence we're here, stood here, making this video. So let's have a look at the kit version. And again, I do feel a little bit I do need to apologise, because I know that you can't get this kit, and it is a kit which I have honestly been hunting for a long period of time, because it is such a good model. Now, with that said, I need to send this over because it's got all the labels on there, so I'll be back to you in a sec. We are in. Now, I don't remember these odd pieces of foam in the previous two kits which I've got here, and I'm pretty sure if you dig back far enough in my channel, in the YouTube history, that you will find me flying this. In fact, I may have even included a clip of it razzing across the flight line here in the background. It does seem to have some very random bits of offcuts in there, to say the least. But we do have the wing cords, which is exactly what I'm after. Yeah, there are some very peculiar pieces which have been included. Oh, is that the same? No, that's... No, that's got to be from a different model. We have included the wing cords. Now, basically for me, everything beyond these wing cords is a bonus, so I'm very happy I've got them there. It's EPP foam, but it's been wire cut, very, very, very well wire cut, to say the least. Whoever made this model, and I don't know who makes this model or who made this model, it was, and the same as the other two, extremely well cut, to say the least, and extremely well finished. You can see it's been CNC cut from it's probably not coming out on the camera very well, but just by the uniformity of the maybe little stuttered lines going through the cut. That said, it would be super handy, which we do have, is that we got a spar in there. Now the spar is very interesting. Again, you can tell I haven't built one of these models for a long period of time, but I still remember exactly how it was put together, which was that once I get in here, thank you, is that when you put the motor mount on the back, is that you actually put the spar all the way through it, wherever the spar hole is, which is just back here, which I'll need to pick out, and you need, like so, and then the motor mount is then part of the spar, which then goes through the actual model itself. Now, on this one and on the other one, now, do we have the motor mount in here? Yes, we do. Oh, we get a bonus. That funny Chinesium tape with the glass fibre strips on it, normally... Ooh, whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, B7000, that's got to be a rip-off of the... E6000 type glue. Happy days, which is perfect for this phone. And yes, we do get the motor mounts. Brilliant. That would have been an awkward one, but it's in the kit, so I'm literally over the moon. That literally will just stick together like so. Put it on the top, and yeah. Oh, it's even come with a chunk of lead. That wasn't in the other kit either. That was not in there, because something like that, a chunk of lead, you would remember, wouldn't you, for being in a kit, and the same for the glue as well. So yeah, very peculiar. This is not how I remember this kit, to say the least, and I'm sure that will be confirmed by looking back in the previous version. Anyway, there's the model itself. You'll see there's a huge, great big area in the middle. Now, what I have done and what I did on the other one is that if I turn this one upside down, you'll notice that I put an awful lot of carbon rods across the base of this model, and again, because I knew this one was going to be a slope soaring model, is that has added a ton of rigidity to the model, and of course laminated it, and you'll see I even put carbon rods down the leading strips. That's how much because I bought one and I made it powered, and I thought it was absolutely fantastic. Bought this one, which was my second one, and beefed it up because I knew I was going to be flying it on the slope. So my plan for this one is, he says, in inverted commas, is that I want something pretty fast, but I also want it for FPV, and I want it powered, of course. So with that in mind, what I'm going to be doing is that the motor on the back will probably be some form of quad motor. I'm going to say a 2305 style motor on the back. I will go for a tiny little 30 amp 30 amp quad ESC on the back. Now that will give you a hint, because if I went 30 amps, kind of like the limit with like a 6-inch prop on these, especially if you're running on 4S, is that I may, and I say this in inverted commas, I may end up setting this model up specifically for Li-ion batteries. Now, with one thing and another with the recent circumstances, is that I did buy a load of these and they were supposed to go to one of the chaps at the farm. However, that didn't happen, and I've got a box of them here, and because I've got so many of the Li-ion batteries, and because I've got so many 2S packs available to me, I may end up setting this one up so that I can either run it as 2S or 3S from a Li-ion pack, and of course put a tiny little micro FPV camera in the nose, right up. It's probably better if I show you up on here. So I'll put the model together and then probably run the camera just up here on the nose, so it's not right on the very end where it's likely to get smashed up. I'll put it right up here on the end of there. Obviously probably a 2S, maybe 3S Li-ion pack in there, and ESC on the back, servos, and yeah, happy days. It will be a 5.8 model. I do feel that maybe 1.2 might be a little bit overkill for this one. So I will set it up as 5.8 and a receiver of some form. It will probably be an FR Sky one on the side, because that's fine. Because it will be meant, so this one will be meant as a tree basher or and not necessarily tree basher. It will be meant for going very fast through trees. And that does mean that it won't be suitable to all flying days. So the last couple of flying days which we have been quite windy, to say the least. This may not, but this wouldn't be a model for that. But the better flying days would be, or the calmer flying days, is going to be a fantastic choice, to say the least. And again, you can look, just looking at the Elevon, which they've got on there, you can see that they've got a rod in a hole in there for a carbon strip to go in there, and that's also been included in the kit as well. We've got a carbon fibre main spar. There's 2 fit strips too. There's 2 rods and some push-ons too, and of course some other accessories as well. So my apologies is that I'm sorry you can't. Well, good luck on you if you can find this wing, because I've tried. And I've tried for a very long time to get hold of a spare, especially when I gave away my spare on the premise, on the hope that we would be able to get a version of this made out for us. And I've tried 2-3 times to get hold of one, and third time lucky, it's been and turned up. So I can't wait to get this one put together and get it in the sky, because I already know it's going to be absolutely bonkers. My vivid memories of the powered one was that it was literally doing over a ton, screaming along the flight line, and then went across by the end of the hedge, and then went straight up in the sky, spiraled it, turned it back down again, back in, looped in, and then went back and did the same thing in the opposite direction. So I have very, very fond memories. So by the way, if any of you have owned a flying blade like this one, do let me know what you think of it in the comments section underneath this video. And if anybody finds another one of these for sale, please let me know, because I would like to purchase one. I genuinely don't even know how much I paid for it, because I frankly thought, well, if it turns up, happy days. If it doesn't, I'll just get my money back via PayPal. And 4 or 5 days later, it has been and turned up. So that is the Flying Blade. From myself, Matt, thank you very much for taking the time to join me here at the very messy workbench going on. Got a couple of little projects going on here. I am still flying, and I still do have that 12 3/4-year-old in me. I just don't have that much time to build certain models at the moment. And again, dynamics going on in the world. There are some models which are blatantly out of the reach of me just because of cost, to say the least, because some of them lately have just been ridiculously expensive. But anyway, getting back into the topic, that's the Flying Blade. I'm a super happy Matt, and a big thank you to you for taking the time to join me here at the workbench to just ogle over some very, very fine foam. So with that said, from myself, Matt, cheerios!